Welcome all the students. The topic for today's discussion is problem play. As we have been discussing the concept of drama, we also discussed the types of drama. Today, we deal with one of the famous types of drama that is called problem play. As the title itself claims that the present type of drama, present type of play deals with some kind of problem, some kind of issue. It is also called as thesis play. It is also called as discussion play and the comedy of ideas also. We can say that the concept of problem play, the type of problem play, comparatively is a recent form of drama, is a recent type of drama. It originated in 19th century, right? So the problem play started appearing on the stage in the 19th century, and first it was staged in the country of France. So we can say that France is the origin of problem play. Later on, the concept of problem play spread into the whole world, right? And the concept of problem play was handled in a good way and later on popularized by a dramatist, that is Henrik Ibsen. And Henrik Ibsen was from Norway. So it is Henrik Ibsen who popularized the problem play in the whole world with his quality plays. And it was introduced into England by Henry Arthur Jones. And another name with Jones was A.W. Pinero. And in England, the concept of problem play was welcomed by the English people. Later on, one of the greatest dramatists in the history of English literature and in the history of world literature, that is G.B. Shaw, George Bernard Shaw. We have studied a text by George Bernard Shaw, that is spoken English and broken English earlier. G.B. Shaw and John Galsworthy, these two great dramatists created and created many problem plays. They both enriched the concept of problem play, right? And they popularized the concept of problem play after Henry Ibsen. So whenever we start a discussion of the problem play, there come three names in our mind. The first is Henry Ibsen. The second name is George Bernard Shaw, and the third is John Galsworthy. So these three great dramatists created classical and thought-provoking problem plays. See, thought-provoking. Thought-provoking means the play which appeals us to think over the problem that is presented on the stage. As you know that some problem is presented through a problem play. That problem may be of society, the problem may be related to ethics, problem may be related to education, problem may be related to employment, problem may be related to what to say money matters, problem may be related to democracy, may be related to corruption, right? So social problems, political problems, personal problems, right? These problems are reflected in problem play. So problem play basically highlights a problem But this problem is not of the imagination of the dramatist. The problem play is also called a realistic play. Realistic play in the sense that the problem presented on the stage is taken, or let's say selected by the dramatist from the society. The dramatist observes the society, and if he finds some problem, for example, dowry debt, hundabadi, this is a problem. And if a dramatist feels that this problem should be handled on the stage, so the dramatist selects such kind of realistic problems that are present in our society, and he handles that problem on the stage. So as a viewer, when we witness, we see this kind of issue on the stage, it asks us to think over the problem, right? To discuss the problem. That's why it triggers, it stimulates the thinking process of the audience. That's why problem play are called thought-provoking problems, or let's say discussion play. It appeals the witness, the audience, to discuss the problem among themselves, right? So it creates some kind of seriousness among the audience. So this kind of drama was popularized by J.B. Shaw, John Galsworthy, and Henrik Ibsen. Afterwards, H. Granby and Leigh Barker was the last notable practitioner of this dramatic type. Thus, a problem flourished in England, right, and the period between the last years of the 19th century and the middle of the 20th. Let's focus the concept of problem play in a broader sense. As we know that problem play means a play that highlights some problem. So this drama is built around a specific problem. A specific single problem is presented on the stage, right? So the dramatist observes the society, observes the social setup, and when that dramatist finds some problem, that problem may be individual, that problem may be related to some particular group, or that problem may be related to some particular country, right? Particular country means many problems are related to culture and language. For example, sati pratha. This sati pratha, or let's say casteism, is found in India only, right? So this problem is related to a particular country. Out of India, sati pratha or casteism we don't find. Color discrimination, right? This color discrimination is found in America, white and black, right? So this problem is related to a particular country. So such kind of problems are highlighted on the stage in a serious way. So the problem is generally of sociological nature. Most of the problems in a problem play are social, right? For example, prostitution. As you know that the prostitutes are the most hateable class by the society, but this kind of serious problem is handled with skill by the dramatist of the problem play. How and why the innocent women, they are ready to be the prostitutes? What are the reasons behind it? And what kind of life they have? So their life history is presented on the stage for the first time in the history of literature, right? So a very sensitive topics like prostitution are presented successfully on the stage. And when the topic prostitution was presented on the stage, the people, the audience, got a second view of that problem, of that issue. So the prostitutes are also human beings, right? And the women, the prostitutes, accepted this job because of some problem in their life, maybe a financial problem, right? So the dramatist asks the audience to look at the prostitutes with the eyes of sympathy. That's it, right? So prostitution, inadequate housing, slums, jhoparpatti, slum problem. As you know that most of the big cities have slums. Take the example of Pune, Mumbai, New York, take any city in the world. Each and every city is surrounded by slum area. And we know that slum area is full of uneducation, right? Full of diseases, full of criminal background, right? And many more. So why people are forced to live like animals? That's the problem highlighted in the problem play. That is inadequate housing. In big cities, right? On one hand, we see tall buildings, posh areas, rich people. But on the other hand, we find dirty slums, right? Poor people, unemployed people, right? So this kind of injustice, inequality is highlighted in the problem play. And this happened for the first time in the history of literature, right? Before the arrival of problem play, drama was just for fun, entertainment, and drama was limited to the high class people only. Most of the characters were from royal families, right? But for the first time in the history of literature, Henry Ibsen, G.B. Shaw, they brought drama for the common people. They selected the problems of the common people and presented the lifestyle of the common people on the stage for the first time. So the drama, which was the property of the rich people, became a friend of the common people also. And this credit goes to G.B. Shaw, John Galsworthy, and Henry Ibsen. So many serious issues are handled and presented on the stage, right? So drama became more and more realistic, more and more realistic. We do not find the goody themes like love, glorification of love, like that we found in Shakespearean drama. So realistic views are there, realistic problems are there, and drama gave no scope for imagination. No scope. No scope for imagination, no scope for music, right? Only problem-oriented presentation. Only drama moving around some particular problem. That's it. That's the center of the problem play. So the serious problems like prostitution, inadequate housing, unemployment, right? See the realistic foundation of problem play, unemployment. Before the arrival of problem play, the play highlighted the problems of the royal families like Hamlet, like Othello, like Macbeth, right? So the common people did not have any kind of scope as far as drama is concerned. But when problem play came into existence, it handled the day-to-day problems of the common people, the realistic problems found in the society, that is of unemployment. The problem play highlighted how the educated and even the uneducated young people, they were of no jobs, right? So having no jobs, they had to join the criminal world. And if such youth join the hands with the criminal world, then it would be a threat to the society, threat to the country. So it is the responsibility of the government to provide proper jobs to the educated and uneducated youth. That thing, that serious thing, that the burning thing is highlighted to problem play. Right. Next was labor unrest. Labor unrest. The injustice on the poor laborers in the factory. As we know that in the 19th century, we saw industrial revolution in England. Industrial revolution, you might have heard this word before. औद्योगिक क्रांती इंग्लंडमध्ये झाली, right? And what happened in England? Because with the help of machines, a large amount of production was there in England, right? And with the help of machines, the quantity of the goods produced in the factories was so huge, and the factory owners wanted to gain much profit. For that reason, they forced the labor to work more than 12 hours, more than 18 hours a day. But in return, the factory owners used to give small amount as a salary to the laborers. So this was an exploitation, right? This was an exploitation. And when some accident happens in the factory, and if some death is there of some worker, or if some, what you say, body part is injured of some worker in the factory, no help is offered, or let's say no compensation is offered by the factory owner. Many innocent children, right, women even, were forced to work hard more than 18 hours in a day. So the factory owners exploited the poor and uneducated laborers, right? So the problem of labor, their exploitation, the injustice of the factory owners were highlighted through drama for the first time by the problem play. So it is a very realistic thing. So drama became more and more realistic. We don't find any kind of imagination over there. So many such social, political, personal, group problems found in a particular country, all these things are successfully presented on the stage, right? And why? What is the reason behind it? Because of social reformation. Social reformation. Samaj Sudharana. Reformation means Sudharana. The dramatists feel that drama should be a tool, a machine for social repairing. Drama is not for just entertainment. It is a vehicle. It's a vehicle of social reformation. And the dramatists should take the responsibility to reform the society. Right. So the dramatists like G.B. Shaw, the dramatists like Ibsen, Galsworthy, they use their pen, they use their skill to highlight such social issues on the stage. So problem play may rise above an immediate context as a problem play to grapple with larger ideological or even metaphysical and universal issues. Most of the problems presented on the stage through problem play were universal. Prostitution, universal problems there. Unemployment, universal problem. Exploitation of the poor workers in the factory, universal problem. Right. So, problem play received name and fame, that is popularity, because it handled local as well as universal issues on the stage for the first time. That's the secret of the popularity of the problem play. For example, in Mrs. Warren's profession, short text the profession of prostitution and its economics in a laissez-faire society. How society exploits even prostitutes, how their lives are. Right. In Man and Superman, his chief concern is not with contemporary sociological problem, but with the concept of life force. Right? So acceptance of this concept and working in accordance with it are the Shavian panacea for all the sociological ills and problems. This word Shavian is related to G.B. Shaw. G.B. Shaw created his own theater of problem play, and his own theater of problem play is called Shavian drama or Shavian theater. Shavian, Shaw, Shavian, right? So G.B. Shaw presented his own style of problem play, right? So a typical type of dramas by G.B. Shaw are called Shavian dramas, right? The panacea, panacea means a medicine. So according to G.B. Shaw, problem play are nothing but medicines for the society, because the society is ill. The society is suffering from many faults, right? So these faults are repaired with the help of the medicine of the drama. So this drama is nothing but a medicine for the suffering society. That was the view of G.B. Shaw regarding problem play, right? And one common thing is that the problem play was used as a tool for propaganda. Propaganda. Propaganda means prachar and prasar. Prachar and prasar. Propaganda of what? We can say that it is an advertisement. Propaganda, or let's say advertisement of some social problem. You must have heard this word propaganda during elections. The different political parties propaganda their candidates, right? जेव्हा इलेक्शन्स असतात बघा, तर प्रत्येक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी प्रचार करते उमेदवाराचा, तो काय असतो? प्रोपॅगंडा असतो, राईट? So problem play is nothing but a propaganda of a particular social problem on the stage. The problem play is also called as a play of propaganda, right? Because it has a single program, and that program is to highlight a particular problem, to propagate a particular problem on the stage, right? And it presented the problem in a didactic form. Didactic means as it is, without any change by the dramatist. Okay, what happens? The dramatist presents something in a story with a little change, with his own point of view, right? But we don't find this thing in the case of problem play. Problem play presents the same problem as it is without any change by the dramatist. right? That's why it is called didactic drama. Right? So the driver of the problem play is not a pure aesthetic athlete, right? A dispassionate creator of a beautiful artifacts of their own select, right? And one more thing, that Ibsen, Shaw, and Galsworthy have written such plays to direct public attention to social evils, right? It is not the case that the problems in the society were not in the history. They were, they are, and they will be. But drama is used as a social reformation tool by J.B. Shaw, Galsworthy, and Ibsen for the first time. Right? So drama is used as a platform for social problems, and when as the public come to the theater and they watch a play highlighting some particular social problem, and what would be the effect? The audience starts thinking about that problem, right? So social awareness would be there. Social awareness. As you know that the prostitutes are looked down upon. Prostitutes are insulted by the society. But the second side, or let's say the second phase of prostitution occupation is presented on the stage for the first time. And the society came to know about the lifestyle of the prostitutes, their problems, right? So the issue of prostitution was came into discussion of the social issue. So the people started discussing about prostitutes. Are they are also human beings? We should just treat them with humanity, like that. So a positive approach can be found regarding the prostitutes for the first time, and that was the effect of problem play, right? So drama was used to highlight social evils, social problems, right? And wrong attitudes, right? Wrong attitudes. So many misconceptions, many misunderstandings, gairisamads, right? Many misunderstandings were cleared by the problem play through the stage. The problem of the prostitutes is the best example of it, right? So problem play try to diagnose the problem. Diagnose. You can see a when we have some problem, we go to a doctor and doctor checks our body and diagnoses some problem. Hello man, you are suffering from this problem, take this medicine and go home. You will be cured within 3 to 4 days. Right? In the same way, the dramatist observes a problem in the society, selects that problem, presents that problem in the form of a story, and when the audience witness that play on the stage, their problem is diagnosed, right? After watching such kind of realistic drama, the people, the public, the audience started looking at that problem with a new angle of thinking, right? So public awareness, social awareness, and social reformation. These are the aims and objectives of problem play, right? So drama was not art for art's sake. There are two important lines as far as literature is concerned. One is art for art's sake, and the second is art for the sake of society. I repeat, art for art's sake and art for the sake of society. Art for art's sake means literature is only for passing the time and for entertainment only. I repeat, art for art's sake means literature is for fun and passing the time for entertainment only. On the other hand, art for the sake of society means literature is not just for entertainment, it is for social reformation. Right? So, problem play gave a realistic touch to the drama for social reformation. Right? So, that was the main intention of the problem play. That's why problem play is called a propagandist type of drama. It propaganded the current burning issues, and the issues were local as well as universal. The technique, right? As we know that the technique of the problem play writers to present the drama changes from dramatist to dramatist. John Galsworthy had his own technique. Shaw, who created Shavian drama, had his own technique. Right? Ibsen had his own style of writing problem plays. Right? So the style was different, but the intention was the same. That is social reformation. Right? So the beginners, the problem play was introduced into England towards the end of the 19th century by Henry Arthur Jones and Sir A.W. Pinero. Right? These playwrights were influenced by Henrik Ibsen. So Ibsen can be called as the father of problem play. The father of the problem play, and Ibsen's dramas were called as bombshells. Bombshells. Vispota. Right. As you know that if a bomb explodes, it destroys each and everything to a particular area. In the same way, whenever Ibsen presented a drama on the stage, it is compared with a bomb. It is compared with a bomb, and this bomb in the form of a drama exploded and destroyed many social issues, many social problems. Right. So that was the effect of the dramas of Ibsen. And we were surprised that in many cases, Ibsen's life was in danger because of these reformative dramas. For example, his drama, A Doll's House. If you have the chance to read it, please, I appeal you to read the drama, A Doll's House. In that drama, he discusses the problem of domestic married life. Domestic married life. He challenges the male dominance, the hypocrisy of a husband. Right? So, this drama deals with some domestic married life problem. And the ending of this drama is very, very shocking. Right? What happens at the ending of A Doll's House drama? The heroine, that is Nora, the wife Nora, breaks off the marriage and kicks her husband. She demands a divorce from her husband because her husband was selfish. Right? So the society at that time was shocked that a woman is revolting against her husband. So the Orthodox people threatened Henrik Ibsen to change the ending of the drama, that is A Doll's House. Right? And the conception was that a woman cannot revolt against the customs. A woman should not revolt against a man, especially a husband. And Ibsen's life was in danger. But Ibsen refused to change the ending of the drama A Doll's House. That was the effect of the drama created by Henrik Ibsen. Right? So how the old customs, useless rituals were destroyed by the problem play. And this happened for the first time in the history of English literature and even in the history of world literature, right? So drama was transformed from a piece of entertainment to a piece of social reformation. And credit goes to Henrik Ibsen, G.B. Shaw, and John Galsworthy, right? So in the coming lectures, we would go through the career of the major problem play dramatists, right? Till then,